Central. My name is Martin Mush. We have Rico here today. We have Smitty here today. We have Big Ev here today. And we have a special guest. Brandon declared this. What did he declare? Baseball Tuesday?
He gave us an option a few weeks ago. What day specifically could he and all of us talk baseball as a preview show? And he said Tuesday, March 31st.
Okay, because that's what March 21st. Yeah.
21st.
And I didn't know that. So I was, Clemmer's like, yeah, I'm coming on the show today. I said, oh, that's nice. Like, that's great. And then he's like, it's Baseball Tuesday. Like, what the fuck is that? So Clemmer is here with us as well for a little Baseball Tuesday. But the show is presented by Omaha Steaks. Spring is in the air, and that could only mean one thing, spring grilling. I don't even need to look at this right now. You all saw me eat that steak yesterday. I hammered that steak in about 4 minutes. I don't eat fast. That was the juiciest, most unbelievable steak, and it was grilled on a makeshift thing by Frank the Tank and Donnie Does. So that's how good Omaha Steaks is. With 50% off site-wide, grab all your favorites like perfectly aged tender steaks, ocean fresh seafood, juicy burgers, incredible aired chicken, and desserts. Plus, when you go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code PICS at checkout, you'll get an additional $30 off your order. Don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com, use PICS at checkout, and take advantage of this deal. You guys know you love Omaha Steaks, right?
The best. I've been eating it for years.
Delicious.
Good.
Long time.
All right. So we're going to do 15 minutes quick, just clean up on some college basketball stuff. I have something I'd like to talk about is everyone's kind of getting mad at these coaches moving and grooving, giving up their loyalty to their one. I think Cooley shouldn't have to apologize for shit. He's sick of Providence. I think he's got at his ceiling. But I want to talk about Tobin here. Right?
Mistake.
That's crazy. And I like the guy. He was a Division II coach 2 years ago. His first year was at Fairleigh Dickinson this year. He didn't even win the fucking conference. And it's one of the worst conferences of all time.
Mary Mack is a wagon.
Sure. But they didn't even win.
But they beat him twice. They did beat him head-to-head twice. So you don't know what would have happened if they really had to play that game. Now, they did play it, but I wonder, did it mean that much? I don't know. It's hard to describe. But they did beat Merrimack twice head-to-head.
It's just that, like last year, Shaheen Holloway, he brought a 15 to, amazing job. They just plug him into Seton Hall because of that. It's like, and he still has time. I don't think he's a bad coach. But this Tobin guy, and people get mad at, players leaving in the transfer portal because NIL and stuff. This fucking guy was at school for 1 year.
That's how it is. But Iona is also a spot that if you follow the history of Iona, they're looking for the quick risers. Tim Cluse was coaching high school and then went to Division II, and then he got that job at Iona.
Yeah. And I think
he turned out to do really well at Iona. So
I also want to make sure I'm not mad at, you take the better job, 100%. I'm not even mad at him, but the people are saying, there's just people get mad at people for taking the money. Take the fucking money, but also I just don't think it's a good hire. I just don't.
I think you're
crazy.
Yeah, I think you're extremely discrediting him. The guy came from D2. He brought 3 players from his D2 program over, which makes it even more impressive.
Sure.
And does something only 2 teams have done in 150 tries.
And you're right, he's going to bring some of these guys to Iona, too, for sure.
Exactly.
I think he's not bringing, unless Roberts is a senior. I don't know all their grades, but he's going to bring a few of these guys to Iona.
Who's the second best name on the board behind Grasso? I think it's
one day
he's from Iona. He's from Iona. They should have kept it in the family. But like you said, he takes Division II guys to.
But you just said it was a mistake as well. So why did you think it was a mistake?
Because Grasso was the best number on the board.
Jesus Christ!
I just think you see this is how I see it. A guy like Tobin, for him to,
he's a phenomenal coach.
Yeah, to have. I just think what truly makes a coach a good coach is making the most out of your guys. Mm-hmm. And I don't think anyone done that this season more than him.
Think about it this way.
This man beat Purdue and then legitimately give FAU everything they can handle. 2 very good schools.
This guy Tobin Anderson
with a team of guys that are 6'3".
Yeah, it's like going in his house and
imagine if he could give him a few more resources, he could get some better guys. He could turn Iona he could keep them in the same spot they've been with Patino. Who knows? He could be coaching a Power 5 in the next 5 years.
Like he could be Brad Stevens eventually.
All right,
know if he could
let's
be that.
slow the
equation.
fuck down.
The equation I
he
give
could be
is
a very good coach.
Wow.
We know-
Slow
guy's living-
down. Like we also like.
It's like if you
We
wouldn't
just put him in national title games and Final Fours, but
he's a fairly.
who knows? But he. I mean, he's proven himself. I think he's a damn good coach, and his ceiling could be very high. Who knows?
You don't know. That's the thing, and we're gonna see. Like Shaheen Holloway is someone where you got to give him some time, but
sure.
he got plugged into a team that's better resources, better recruiting situation. He didn't get to recruit yet. That's his first year, so that's why I'm not saying anything yet. But he didn't make the tournament. He was off. They were awful this season. So that's a example of literally what happened last year to what happened to this year. It didn't transfer yet. You got to give him some time.
Yeah,
I
for
understand that, but Seton Hall's is a better job than Iona.
I think Ev makes a great
Sure.
analogy. Like, this guy's living. You look at somebody. Let's say one of your friends lives paycheck to paycheck, and you go what
How many layers of clothes are you wearing?
6 or 7.
Got the hoodie, got the dress shirt, and I always wear a t-shirt underneath any shirt. I'm afraid to sweat.
All right.
Yeah.
I was just making sure.
Is that okay? Is that
No, it's fine.
that
It's
acceptable?
fine.
Yeah.
I was wondering if I was missing any.
I equate it to like somebody's living paycheck to paycheck, and you go in their house like a regular person. You go in the house like, man, you got really nice furniture. Like, how'd you do that? It's like, oh, I make the most of it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what Tobin Anderson's doing. He's got no resources.
I don't know about that analogy, but I get it.
He's got no resources, but and he's making the most of it. Like, his house is nicely decorated.
So you're
without much helping him out. FDU is they got a fucking junior doing the fucking media
Oh,
relations.
listen,
Who are we
how-
talking about?
How nice is your house decorated right now?
Not nice at all.
he made the most
But I'm saying
of what he had.
make the most of what he's got.
100%.
And now you're going to give him. Now imagine if you give him an interior decorator. How nice his house is.
I just
That's
gave
what
you
you
an
do when you go to
example.
Iona.
I just gave you an example of an interior decorator as well. That
Yeah, but that's
didn't
one
work out.
season though.
It's awful.
Oh, I know, but I understand that.
And
That's
also,
why I
you're coming off
said.
that Seton Hall team. They made the tournament and lost by like 50 to TCU. Credit to me, that was the biggest bet I ever made in my life.
What does that mean, though? He wasn't.
But I'm just saying, like the team was like they clearly were so far away.
They made the tournament like Willard did.
They lost by
like,
1,000.
Yeah, but they
They're
didn't
far
make
away.
the tournament. Like I'm just saying, like I
They're
love
on the bubble.
I like.
I hear you.
Tobin.
I hear you.
I like Tobin. I do. I just don't. Everyone's like, that's a great hire. I just think we got to slow it down for a second. Let's see how he does. He's been 1 year in Division I, and good for him. He's moving up fast, and like he should go to Iona. Like fuck Fairleigh Dickinson. Again, you just said they had a junior in college being their media guy. Like he's getting resources, and I do think though.
And their table staff only pays by check. And
I
it took
do
3 weeks to
think
get the check. So.
It's good for him. Where it's like he is at Iona, it's still a one bid league. Like he is still. It's not. I think that he can still keep Iona there. But do you think a lot of the Iona guys are transferring now because Patino left, or do you think they're staying because of Tobin?
I'm sure if Patino is any, I'm not like super familiar with Iona's like roster, but I'd imagine the top guy try to take the St. John's with him. If there's a few top guys.
Yeah.
I'm sure like Tobin's gonna take some of his top guys, like the Roberts kid if he's still around, or so like those guards.
Iona
I'm imagine
has
try to take with him.
dominated the MAC.
But
for
also,
a long
I was-
time.
How long was Patino at Iona?
Probably what
4 to 6.
4 or 5
so
years.
They were his guys.
Yeah, no, they're his guys for sure.
They
The only thing I was
dominated
gonna say is
Patino was
they
amazing.
No, he was really good there. He brought them to
They-
the top of the
you
conference.
said they dominated
made
for
a
a
few
while, like-
tournaments.
He got an at-large bid before Patino.
I know, but he.
Iona has been a really, really good run.
No, they've been solid
yeah,
for sure.
for sure. But Patino's obviously a way better.
They
coach
won.
than
They won the
Shore.
conference for years in a row. The only thing I will say with Tobin, at least like, it's in like great hire. I mean, he's getting the Iona job. He's not getting like the Kentucky job.
Oh, 100%.
Like he's going. He's not jumping from like D to like A. Like he's going like D to like C. He's working his way up.
No, 100%. That's why I like him. It's not like I'm really not shitting, but a lot of people are always like get so bullish on these coaches that have that little run in March, and it's like sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, obviously, but time will tell.
On the other side of the spectrum, though, like with Patino, he's 70 years old. He just signed, what is it, a 6-year contract? Did I read that right with St.
Probably,
John's?
yeah.
Does that seem crazy, or is that just the world we're in now? Or
So,
When you
I
have
actually,
presidents that are
I
years
do
old.
disagree with you, so I'd like to.
So St. John's had to make the hire. St. John's, the history of St. John's and all the story and the pageantry and how good they were and the 85 team that my dad and people that age talk about and why St. John's is not good. It's because anyone under the age of 30 has never watched St. John's be good. Ever.
Fact.
Just a fact. It's like why the free agents don't go to the Knicks.
100%.
Facilities stink. They play 3 games at the Garden. The upper bowl is closed. Like St. John's is, to me, less of a program historically than Gonzaga. And in 1987, if you would have told somebody that, they would have laughed you out of the gym because St. John's was like ready to go.
recent, yeah. Like it's
What?
just a lot more Gonzaga as of recent, obviously.
Well, they made 2 finals. St. John's has 1 Final Four that they're holding their life on. The other one was a 2000 Elite 8 run. Like,
it's becoming where the
just
whole
not
New
good.
York thing is not becoming.
It's not. Yeah, no one has ever seen it. The other thing too is like I say it all the time. The kid Roll Atkins was a top 25 recruit, and the story was it came down to Arizona and St. John's. You're an 18-year-old kid. You've never watched St. John's be good. He went and visited Jamaica, Queens, and got sold on Chris Mullen, Walter Berry, guys he didn't know, and saw the facilities in St. John's and got sold on 3 games at the Garden. He went out to Arizona. There was 16 models walking around, a pool party, a PlayStation in his locker, a bunch of NBA draft picks going out of Arizona. What the fuck are you supposed to do if you're going to make a business decision?
But
I think they had to make the hire, and Pitino puts them in the fun and like relevant thing. But yeah, 70 years old with no successor, definitely lined up who can maintain this success. He has to win a title in 6 years, and I don't know if he could do that.
I don't
know if he has to win
I don't know if he has to
title.
win a title in 6 years.
I think
He's
if he
also,
Gets to the Elite Eight or Final Four.
Yeah.
I don't even think he has to
hasn't-
go that far.
he's
to be
gotta get to
honest.
the
You think
Sweet
if he goes
16?
to you think if he goes to a Final Four, it's enough that kids in New York City will be lining up to not go to Carolina and not go to Syracuse and go to St. John's in general, which they haven't done for 20
Because
years.
Look at the
I
Knicks.
disagree.
Look at the Knicks when they're the 4 seed and like the Knicks are bigger.
Still didn't really get like.
Yeah, but look how
major-
crazy New York was. New York could rally around St. John's. Pitino is the perfect guy for St. John's to turn it around.
And when a Big 5 school in Philly becomes like a national championship, like Villanova or Temple makes it around, or LaSalle, the entire city galvanizes.
Without a doubt.
And you see
New York doesn't
recruitments
have a
bump up.
school.
Yeah, if St. John's becomes that for New York,
Yeah.
the entire city is going to be behind it.
Sure. Do you think that St. John's can have a 10 to 15-year run like Gonzaga where they always make
I don't
the
know what
tournament,
you're.
always get a 3?
Well, I mean,
That's
you're-
long-term
yeah,
success.
though.
That's St. John's being back. 15 years. You should make
No.
the tournament 15 years in a row.
I was going to say more if they could just be like a perennial tournament team.
If there's a
think
tournament
that's a
team,
win.
they're back. Like that's just what it is.
It's
Yeah.
just a perennial tournament team.
I
is
don't
being
think. I think
back.
he's got.
I think that's
Well, back-
that's the start, but to me, that's not the bar that everyone wants.
I
The
think
bar
what-
I'm setting is 3 to 7 seed every year.
Bro,
Like, it's no question you're making.
The bar
It's
is
a high bar.
Okay, well
is
then
I think it's
here
I
right
think it's going
now.
to take a couple years to get there if he can get there at all.
Bar is so
Fine.
low.
I think it's in between. I think if you make the tournament, I think that's low, but I also think that being a perennial
What's
three
the
seed-
no? It's, I guess so. We're arguing different things. What's the end goal? The end goal should be they make the tournament 15 years in a row. There's no.
Well, I think I was.
I don't know if they can get to that spot. I think Pitino might do it for 6, and then the next guy hovers, and then in 8 to 10 years we're back where we are. The city kids stop going.
No, I don't
We're
think
talking
so.
at 2035. I mean,
Yeah, but I don't
I think if St. John's is in the conversation, like if they make a run one year and are a 1 or a 2 seed and still end up going out in the Sweet 16, I think that's a success. If they make a run as a 6 seed to like an Elite 8 or Final 4, I think that's a success.
I think you're
It's
wrong.
definitely
where
a success, but I'm
if-
talking building the program. So like those
Pitino-
1 or 2 years, you
yes.
consider that enough to
Yes.
be building the program for 10 years of success?
compared to
If-
what St. John's has been for the
St.
past.
John's still gets some pretty good players to come here. They do, and they have been awful. Their coaches has been awful. Pitino is a known, very good college basketball coach, and if he has a good 6 years here and decides to leave, like that will still they'll just get a better coach after that because it's going to be a good job. St. John's is not a good job right now. It sucks, but he is a perfect person to take it from. Like he's already has success at Louisville, everywhere he's been. Like I think that he really can, and we'll see soon. Like,
Yeah,
we'll
I
see
think
early.
he can have success in 6 years. But again, I'm talking about building this.
That's what I'm saying. Don't you think if he has that success, he's just gonna plug in a new coach right there because he'll already be at a good program to take
Sure,
over?
the guy could be a good coach, but it's an uphill battle with the facilities, it's an uphill battle with the location, and it's an uphill battle with what other programs' connections have been in the NBA. When's the last real star out of St. John's in the NBA? Ron Artest?
But I think
Long
that's
fucking time ago.
But I know. I know what
Duke
you mean.
has, and again, it's
Meta
not to
World
make it a Duke thing, but Duke has a program where they're training guys for media for the NBA. Like you go to Kansas, Bill Self's hooks. Like we've talked to Oates, Musselman. They're like, yeah, NBA scouts reach out to us all the time about our guys. Like at St. John's, yeah, of course they're going to talk to Pitino, but there hasn't been a hub of success
I think
for these
you're-
guys to go.
Well, no, listen, the analogy you made with the St. John's versus Arizona, totally correct. Like that's
100%.
100% on point. You can use a number of different schools besides Arizona to fill that. I know what you're saying. Like it's going to you bring them to the city versus this incredible campus with girls and parties and stuff to do where you're just in New York City. But I think the difference with Pitino is, listen, obviously the Izzos of the world and Selfs and the Dukes and say the same thing, but for the first time St. John's in a while, Pitino could sit down in your mother's living room and say, hey, you want to win that championship? I've done that. You want to go to Final Fours? I've done that.
Yeah, you're right.
I think that's the difference where maybe he can't get the best recruit in the country, but I think he can start getting like top 100 guys that they haven't gotten in a long time. And I think if you can get a couple of those guys and you can find a couple of diamonds in the rough, what I think Pitino can do, he's done a good job recruiting at Iona. I think he can do that even better at St. John's. Maybe there is one or two like really good city kids that you can get to stay home that want to stay home.
I think
nobody has wanted
family
to
to
stay
see
home.
them
That's the
play.
hook. The league is at its highest level right now.
100%. I think he's the type of guy that maybe he can get one or two of those guys to stay.
The national championship, you're
And
right.
that can
That
make
might
a
be the
huge
caveat.
difference. Like, you want to go to Final Fours? Like Mike Anderson couldn't. Like I've been.
Yeah.
And
I've
it's
been to Final
also-
Fours. He can say I've been to Final Fours everywhere I've been.
But it's all
besides
yes.
Iona, which is Iona.
Yeah.
But it's also like I'm getting fucking Iona, who's down here, to the tournament every year.
Exactly.
And
Like,
I'm
he's
gonna
like,
give you.
he can say I've won everywhere I've been. If you
I know
told
how
me
to coach
we're
against.
gonna win. Like
I know how to coach
I don't
against
lose.
fucking Creighton, and I know how to coach against fucking Seton Hall. All these schools. Like I think you're giving Pitino. You're more sold on St. John's being like a shitty place, kind of, than Pitino going there. Because I know what you mean. No one wants to go to Jamaica, Queens. I understand that.
For
It
sure.
sucks.
There's no campus. There's no
there's
facilities.
nothing.
I get it.
It sound like
100%.
you're going to play at MSG, and then you're like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
You're not even in the city anymore. You're not even in Manhattan. I understand that, but I think Pitino is quite literally, the only one to start this over for St. John's and make it New York around
Yeah,
him.
Mullen tried, but
Mullen tried, but he just wasn't a good coach.
Yeah.
Like Pitino
He didn't
is
have
a
the
guy.
recruiting. All that's huge. He didn't have the recruiting experience, coaching experience. Pitino's done it everywhere.
I mean, Pitino's got strippers places. He can figure out what's
he's got some
going on.
connections in New York.
But I just
That's
want
what's going
to your
on.
point. You're right. Like that might be when the kids are weighing, when Pitino leaves and the kids are weighing the options with their parents. Like, what do you want to do? That national championship is definitely like a lot of beans on the scale. I just wonder if it's enough beans to make them go. I still
but
think the other
also-
places have a lot of beans that he could get close to these decisions.
How many beans does it take to make your living room look nice?
Dude,
But also, you got to remember too, like if he can even get them to like a little bit more of a winner, like the job could look totally different. Like taking the St. John's job could look totally different in 2030 than it does.
Yeah,
in
it definitely can.
it's like you look at Mike
Like that could be
Anderson.
two different animals. Like all of a sudden, it could be an appealing job if he brings him to the point that we think maybe he can.
Yeah. Listen, I'm rooting for St. John's to obviously get back. I just do think it's more of an uphill battle than people realize. And he's the
definitely-
guy to do it. If anyone could do it, he's the guy to do it. And Rapoli being in is a big X factor.
Massive.
That's
Massive.
Not even mass. That
That's-
is.
But I think a lot of these other
so
places
big.
have money too. So I just wonder if these kids will really want to stay home. Like,
It's like
And for the people, Rapoli's the founder of Body Armor, all that stuff. He's a huge billionaire.
Billionaire.
St. John's alum. That now that Pitino's in, he wants to like put money into the program. I think it's a massive.
It's like if when Mike Anderson walks in your house, it's like, okay, St. John's, it's a good program. It's in like you, and then Pitino walks in your house, like this guy has like, it's like a guy has like a bionic arm coming in. It's like he's got something different.
Yeah,
you know, like
100%.
he's got something different. Where I'm like, okay, I believe this guy. You know,
He's proven it. Everywhere he's gone, he's won.
yeah. And then the last before we go into some baseball. Everyone, I see a lot of Providence people being so upset with Cooley. I think the way he handled it, people are more upset because it was like he's always this Providence guy, whatever, and the way he kind of went out quickly and didn't really. But you don't know what he's said to his team. You have no idea. Only thing he owes is the kids on his team. That's it. And he doesn't owe them anything, but he probably talked to them before and doesn't have to tell the media shit. I think it's kind of cool he's going to Georgetown. I think it's kind of
He maxed out at Providence.
he maxed out. It's very,
did a
very much Brian
phenomenal job
Kelly.
there.
Very much Brian
He
Kelly.
did a phenomenal job there. He did probably as much
Bray
as he possibly
too.
can.
Like I think that it's just like, hey, I got nothing left. Like Bray was sick of trying to figure out of how to recruit kids to Notre Dame with this academics you need. Like it's not USF it's crazy. It's easier to recruit kids at USF.
Well, I mean, you
than
can sell them,
fucking-
hey, you want to come to Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah, and
Wherever it is. It's in
Well, you
Miami
also
or
look
something.
at that
No, in
league.
South
you
Florida.
also don't need
Somewhere nice.
You don't need
Who's
a
the second
2.5
best team in
GPA.
that league? It's a 2-team league.
Yeah, it's
Like, so if you get to the third team and you're an at-large every year, you're in great spot.
Yeah, no, I 100%.
Also, there's been some. We don't have to get into Cooley details. There's been some other shit going on. I don't know if you read that.
what?
Something with some infidelity potentially. That was like there's some. You guys didn't see that at all?
No.
There was some. I was.
That's probably Providence trying to. I don't find that.
A lot of people are freaking.
I didn't want to even say it because I like the guy a lot. I was just reading some of it that it was like there was some things underlying going on with that was becoming a big issue like inside the program. I don't know if that was. I don't know how much that like really caused or didn't cause, but
I had a very nice.
I think they're more just being mad
Mr.
at
and Mrs. Cooley at the Final Four, and that would break my heart.
There was something.
It would break my heart.
Look into it when we get off the show, but there was something I saw that I read a few different things, and I was like, oh.
You also have to realize people get Providence is Cooley. It's
he
has
he's
made
the
that
king of the castle.
about. You don't think so?
In the last 10 years, but I mean, they had Rick Pitino and they had Billy Donovan. Well, Billy Donovan.
We're saying recently though.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, as a
Sham God. Yeah, I mean, Providence was a cool. Yeah, but Cooley's.
He's been a face of that place for like. If you think of Providence, I'm not thinking of Pitino.
Right now,
No, it's a long time. Yeah, it's
you know, so it's like it's.
Thinking of God, Sham God.
But if he can bring Georgetown back to John Thompson days,
But that's all.
I think he might be able to.
That's a massive
Georgetown
recruiting
has
hub.
the best recruit. The DMV is like where everyone is, and he is very good at recruiting over there because he's been doing it. So I
Also got to look too,
He
right?
also got. You see a transfer here?
Eddie
guy?
Lampkin already.
Eddie Lampkin already.
You got Eddie Lampkin at
Yeah,
Georgetown.
Well, I know. I think that's probably people are
Lampkin's
pissed.
already there.
He was recruiting to Georgetown while he was still coaching Providence.
That's where it gets a little hairy.
But I'm not mad at that. Literally every other coach.
Don't
has
even
done
get
that.
me. You don't
I'm not
think
mad at
Nate
him.
Oates fucking does
Cooley's
that?
a friend.
Every
When? He was at
other
Buffalo.
coach has done that. I'm not mad at him.
Nate Oates doesn't
They weren't
tamper at all.
Knew he was taking the
comparable.
job.
He was at
The-
Buffalo
the-
to Alabama.
No,
It's not
no
comparable.
tampering in the recruiting side.
Absolutely not.
No.
Because he knew
Every coach does.
He knew he was getting this job a month ago.
The other thing too is if Cooley,
coach
if it was
Yeah,
Creighton,
I mean-
if Cooley was going from Providence to Creighton, Providence should be livid. Like, you're going to fucking Creighton within the league? Like, what the fuck? You got to look at the history of Georgetown, especially for an African-American coach. John Thompson was a fucking legend to these guys. Legend. Mike Boykin talked about it when we talked to Cade Cunningham. Like, people have honored Thompson with the towel over it. Thompson was super, super proactive in making sure his players were taken care of. There were racial signs and shit. He's like, I'm not playing that game till that's taken down. John Thompson was a pillar in college basketball and pillar for African-American athletes. So Cooley, when it's like, you know what, I am maxed out at Providence. All right, Georgetown. You know, like Georgetown is a hub. It's like going to the Knicks, like going to the Yankees. Like, so I think Providence should realize a part of that too. If he went to Creighton, you have every right to like be pissed. But you got to see it. It is Georgetown.
He can make Georgetown cool again.
You can make them like a title contender.
They weren't bad for Thompson.
We're title contender in the last 10 years, in the last decade.
07, yeah, they were, yeah.
To get Lampkin,
It was just
already-
horrible in the tournament.
Getting Lampkin already is
He's going to get more guys too.
wild.
I'm pretty sure Bynum's coming. He's going to get some of the Providence guys are going to
'cause
go.
I need a side-by-side.
It's almost like a Bynum, the point guard,
guys
almost said he's going
love
already.
I need a side-by-side of Eddie Lampkin and Michael Sweetney in Georgetown jerseys. That's what I need.
But yeah, we'll talk
I would
more.
be shocked if like half the Providence team went there.
Yeah, facts. We'll talk more college basketball tomorrow. Like dive deep into the Sweet 16 Elite 8 games
Can't wait.
because now we have fucking Coke Man over there, Clemmer. I keep track of how many Cokes Clemmer has.
It's a heart.
Baseball, baby.
Every day. He averages about 2.5 to 3 Cokes a day.
I would like to
addicting.
put down some rules for this baseball conversation.
Okay.
Number one, Chris, I apologize. I thought I saw double button-ups on you earlier. That would have been egregious. It's not. My apologies for calling out your
Remember the
outfit. That was
double
my
polo craze of 04 to 06?
fault. Frat boys, baby.
No.
Frat boys.
Double collar popped.
Number two.
After my time.
Number two, so there's not ball washing over the Yankees, Phillies, Mets here. I think for every positive thing you say about your team, you must say one thing that you're worried about or a negative.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Fair enough.
Fair.
enough.
Okay.
Everything I'm saying, like I think I had the Yankees win the AL East. I hate the Yankees. Everything I'm saying is what I believe is going to happen, not what my heart.
It was more directed towards the Yankees bowl.
Yeah, the Yankees.
Oh, you guys usually hype us up and like get us mad, so it's on you guys to be honest.
Fair.
Before we get into like MLB, tonight is going to be the most watched baseball game of all time.
As it kind of should be.
And it's funny because I'm going to be honest. I agree with KFC. I don't care about the WBC. I don't. But tonight I'm going to be watching because it's a cool Ohtani and Japan against
Ohtani's not pitching though.
No, he's closing though.
Yeah, maybe. Well, probably.
Who's pitching for Japan?
It's not you, Darvish. It's someone I don't know.
Okay. Errol Kelly for USA, correct?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a bullpen game though.
Okay, fair enough.
Everyone,
what I think.
They only use two guys. The last
the biggest game of baseball's ever watched, and Merrill Kelly
baby.
was starting for us.
Arizona Diamondback.
Dude, yeah, Diamondbacks are good to us.
Did you guys see the guy that the walk-off last night for Japan?
Yeah.
Murakami. He's the best baseball player of all time. If you go look at his Japanese league stats, he's the greatest baseball player that's ever
He's
lived.
better than Babe Ruth. I've watched some things,
he's
dude. I was
20
like, this guy's sick.
He's 22 and has 177 career home runs.
Yeah, that's insane.
Ridiculous. What's he been in the league since he was 17?
18 years old.
Jesus.
Does he have a shot to come over and play for the Angels or Mariners?
I think there are weird
Yankees?
rules where he has to wait till he's like 25 to get posted
Come to
by
the
Major
Yankees.
League
What
Baseball.
position does he play?
I'm not really sure. He's just like a big lefty bat. He probably just
Sounds
DH.
good. Yankees, baby. Sounds great.
Yeah, I'm in.
Short porch.
But yeah,
Had me at lefty.
especially I think the tournament should be played in November, and I don't think it should be played now. But we don't need to get into all of it. No basketball on today, so I will watch.
Just NIT.
Yeah,
Dude, the games have been fun to watch. They have. Everybody who's playing is into it, and the crowd has been fucking phenomenal.
it is funny though, where Trey Turner was like, "It's my biggest home run or biggest hit of all time," and the guy won a World Series.
Yeah.
He
and
did.
the
He
funny
wasn't
thing is,
hitting. He
though,
wasn't hitting walk-off homers in that World Series.
It was
though. That's a
also
fair point.
it also that World Series every away team won, so it was different. And then also, but it's funny this I saw the Phillies fans wait till you come over in the playoffs where we play. It was so funny just to see Phillies fans go. No, and I would do the same thing as a fan.
One last thing on Cooley, Dave, because Dave just tweeted it, popped up. He's being told it's $6 million a year versus 3.75.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. I mean,
Double.
it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Was Dave agreeing, or is it saying
The higher
it's not that
ceiling.
much?
He's like,
program.
I mean, I get it. Like, what do you? It's
Yeah.
double the money. It's not a $23 million deal. He says it's not a $23 million deal over 5 years versus $20 million. Like then, like $3 million really matters that much to you. You're gonna be a scumbag and go in the league. It's historic. It's a job he probably looked up to, and it's $6 million a year compared to $3 million.
Yeah, no, you 100% take that,
Yeah.
and it's just Providence.
With
fans are-
3.75, so it's like a
Providence fans are
30,
sad
20
because they're getting
30.
like Penn State's coach or something like that.
He's a damn good coach.
he's a good coach. He's a very
Felix
good coach.
Shrewsbury's a great coach.
It's just
He's done
not a
great job at Penn
name
State.
in your head where you're like you went from Cooley.
No, for
somewhere
sure.
else. It's just I would be mad. You lose Cooley, I'd be pissed if I was Providence.
Yeah,
That's what it
course,
is. Yeah,
of
it's just
course.
losing the.
Yeah.
Anytime you. Same with Carolina. I think Carolina's worried now. Like, if you don't have the guy, resetting the clock sucks.
All right, back to baseball.
Yeah,
World
yeah, what are we
Baseball
doing?
Classic. See, honestly, if the World Baseball Classic, I said this, if it could be like some nationality pride thing some nationality pride thing where it's like the NHL and Olympics where like USA is playing Canada and all the bars are packed, or like the World Cup, like this could be a winner. Last game and tonight, I think are going to be like that. Everybody's going to be kind of enthused and watching and ready to get after.
Today's the day. Like I've already watched any of the games. Like I'm gonna watch tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna watch.
Neither have I.
as well.
I watched like one game because it was on with the stream. We
But it's
watched.
a championship game
blew him
too.
out.
That guy's massive.
That's Jordan Berry.
He was way too jacked to be a comedian.
Oh.
Comedians that are like jacked
Somebody
kind of
else.
scare me sometimes.
Yeah, because usually comedians are
You're
like
supposed to be a little softer than me. You're supposed to be
all
fucking-
comedians
Why are you
like
so jacked?
really insecure. So I
Don't make
like
me
them,
laugh
man.
and then beat me up.
Yeah, you can't make fun of comedians. I've realized they get very upset. They can only do it.
Yeah.
So how do you want to do this? You want to go through picks? You want to go through by division?
Oh, let's
Like,
go
what
through.
do you like
let's
first?
Let's go do AL East and NL East first. We'll start with the NL East.
All right.
I'm going to tell you my pick to win it is the Phillies. I love the Phillies lineup. I really fucking do. Trey Turner and Bryce Harper back together is just insane, and I think the Phillies could obviously only literally just build off of last year. I don't know. I love the Phillies.
I think Bryce Harper's also not going on the 60-day IL. He will
right.
be back, I believe, before May 29th.
and
Should
that's
be.
you know what?
That's a possibility. They're keeping it open. Will it happen? Probably not, but he will be back before the All-Star break in the lineup, which
And that's
is a win.
all that matters. It's if he gets hurt during the middle of the season, it sucks. Just let him rest for a little. Who
We're
cares?
going to talk to the Phillies now. They were without him for a third last year, and they still made the wild card. They're objectively better, top to bottom, this year than they were last year. Talk picks. My favorite pick of all this, the Phillies won 87 games last year. Big Ev, what do you think their over-under is this year after adding Trey Turner. Yeah, they lost Segura after having a bullpen 2 years ago, which was historically shit 2 to 3 years ago. They blew 8 saves in 6 games 2 years ago, but they added Craig Kimbrell. Now, granted, it's not Braves, Red Sox, Craig Kimbrell, but it's Craig Kimbrell. They added Matt Strahm. They added Gregory Soto, who's an all-star. Yes, he's very erratic, but he's not going to be expected to close games. On top of Sir Anthony Dominguez, on top of Jose Alvarado, who's a stud, and maybe you get.
Did we get Brad Hand too?
I'm not sure if Hand's
we lost
back.
Hand.
Yeah, we lost Hand. And you got maybe Belly Falter switching from the fifth spot into the bullpen. So the bullpen is stacked. 87 wins last year. What's the over-under this year?
Well, I genuinely have not seen the number. Your contact clues are leading me to believe it's low.
That'd be like 80.
So I was gonna say like 88.5.
89.5.
Only 9. I was gonna say 91.5.
89.5. This team's winning 90 games. Are they going to win the division? I still think it's the Braves' division. The Braves are just consistently great at winning the fucking NL East.
Plus, they're the
whatever reason.
boogeyman. They're the boogeyman. We can't beat them.
Exactly. But I do think, I mean, you don't have to put my picks up now, but I do think the Phillies win 90 games. I think as long as everybody's healthy, it's a fucking lock.
So one thing I really like about the Phillies that you didn't mention in the over-under is that the schedule changes this year. So instead of having to play the NL East, each team 17 times, they're playing every single team, which will really help teams in the East, really hurt teams in the Central. So be aware of that during that. The other thing, the Phillies that concerns me is their pitching staff is so reliant on 2 guys. If Nola or Wheeler get hurt for any extended period of time, the Phillies are fucked. Like, they're not going to make the playoffs.
I don't know about that. So one thing about Zach Wheeler, he's pitched the most innings of baseball over the last 2 years. They've already said basically they're cooking him down. They wanted him healthy for the playoffs. So his over-under is 180.5 strikeouts. I love Zach Wheeler. I think he's dominant. I don't think he's just going to pitch enough innings this year. They're going to manage him to shit. Same thing with Aaron Nola. His over-under is 220 in strikeouts. You know, his Ks per 9 are still abnormally high, so he might hit that, but I think they're going to load management him this year.
It's such a big number. 220 is huge.
But I don't think they're totally relying on both of them because, number one, the bullpen has gone from historically shit 2 years ago. They're going to be one of the best bullpens in the game this year. And number two, I mean, Taijuan Walker, say what you want about him. Like, he's not going to be probably not as good as the Mets. He regressed the second half of the year. He's still a solid number 3.
Solid.
Number 4.
He's solid.
Ranger Suarez is going to put asses in the seats this year as a number 3. You saw him in the World Series last year. That was his coming out party. And then your fifth starter, I mean, there's no schlubs. You got Belly Falter, who's a young guy who can come in and eat innings, or maybe even Andrew Painter once he gets healthy, who's going to be a potential number 1. So their pitching staff, even if Wheeler or Noah goes down, or, I mean, you don't want to see him lose for a season, but even if they're not pitching maximum innings, they're going to be fine, especially with that lineup, man. And we're talking Kyle Schwarber against no shift. Rhys Hoskins is in a contract year. 28.5 home runs. He hit 30 last year. I mean, they're going to fucking
Alec
rake.
Boehm is massive this
Alec
year,
Boehm
too.
put on 10 pounds of muscle. He's been fucking elevating the
Big F.
That's such a
Has he
beat
said anything
writer
he's worried
comment.
about yet?
I took Zach Wheeler under strikeouts.
That's what you worried about. You just gave a whole spiel.
Good baseball team.
He said a guy added 10 pounds.
I'm giving reasons for betting them on specific things. I said over 87.5 games. I said they're not winning the division.
So
Braves are still
I'll be
in
honest
that
with you.
division.
I like the Phillies better than the Braves this year. I had the Phillies ahead of the Braves in the standings this year.
It could be.
I'm going to play Turner at 12-1 for MVP, and I'll go Braves and Mets overs for Chris's point. Changing the schedule, you have to play less games against this brutal division. That's a massive, massive factor.
I don't like that.
But you can if it means you're going to win more games and your division is loaded.
I'm just saying I don't necessarily enjoy it. I feel like you should just keep playing your division.
It's fun to see different teams like in the ballpark. Though, like, are you going to be able to see the Dodgers or whatever, or the teams you haven't typically seen?
I get it. But sometimes I don't need to see the Diamondbacks. You know.
And on trade,
What am I-
We love
I
the
don't mind
Diamondbacks.
See, I don't mind playing them.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
the
betting on them as
Diamondbacks are going
dogs.
to be a borderline playoff team this year, I think.
Zach Gallen for
I'm not
Cy
a-
Young.
Gallen,
by the
I
way.
mean, Merrill Kelly.
Zach Gallen the mound plus money.
Cy Young.
Auto bet.
I'm very high on Corbin Carroll for
You have
rookie
to go
of
to
the
the
year.
pool.
I think they're going to be good. One note on Trey Turner. He's plus 1,100 on the Barstool Sportsbook for leading the league in stolen bases. He's already talked about the pickoff rule, how he loves it. There's going to be guys trying to take him any way you can. You got Acuna, you got Ruiz for the Orioles. He's a speed demon. But Trey Turner, 1,100. I think that's.
I was going up
Really
the-
like Trey Turner there. The other thing too is a lot of those guys in front of him aren't going to play. Like, look at some of those guys. John Birdie, for instance, I think he started like 80, 90 games last year. Like, Trey Turner, if he's healthy, is going to play 155, 160 games. He's my pick for that as well, the stolen base.
At
Plus
1,100.
1,100.
I think going over the stolen bases thing, I had a nice chat with one of our shout out my guy Blair, one of our pen guys. I think we're gonna have some fun exclusives with some stolen bases this year.
Love it.
I think they're going to be I think it's going to be a huge. I mean that the not throwing over 3 times is going to be a massive factor.
Why wouldn't you try to I mean, they're going to have to. I don't know how you combat that on the third pick.
Like you said, Trey Turner and guys like that, they are going to eat it up.
I just don't think they're going to pick off much.
But they're not going to be able to hold you on the same way.
You can still hold them. Like you still.
You essentially have to make that choice. Like you have to either keep them you throw over once. I mean, once you throw over twice, you're shot.
That's the thing. I don't think they're going to throw over that second time most of.
But I'm saying, think about the mental gap of a guy like Trey Turner's speed, knowing that.
Oh, I get it.
Bigger leads, take bigger chances.
You can still sneak in. I mean, after nobody throws that third pickoff, that third pickoff is going to be electric when you try.
It is. It's going to be awesome.
Because also a runner is going to get real confident, get that
guy like Trey,
and then pick them off.
There's going to be some guys like a guy like his speed. They throw over twice and we just go.
I sent Ebo a TikTok. I think we should be able to play it. It's Scherzer talking about the pitch clock. I was wondering your guys' thoughts on it, and obviously, because I think it's gonna fuck with people more than people think at early on. Do you agree?
I think it'll have some disruption for sure, as well as the pickoff, as well as no shift. There's a lot of rule changes. I think there's going to be a little bit of upheaval the first month of the season for sure.
Yeah,
it'll be an adjustment period.
Yeah.
We've seen in spring training, I mean, we saw a game actually ended because of this pitch clock. I mean, if that actually happened in a big moment in a regular season game, we're going to end the game because of pace. You know, I can't subscribe to that because that's outside the scope of what this was pitched as. Trying to clean up the dead time within a game, not change the game. And so when you start changing the results of game because of the punishment that you need to implement this, that's where you kind of lose me of saying that we need a clock.
I think that's fair.
I do extend the clock 10 seconds in the ninth inning.
See, I get what he's saying, but I also understand just throw the fucking ball.
Yeah.
I know that sounds like very
but he's the last person you have to worry about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's not the guy. Like he obviously pitches at a fast pace, but I think some of these guys take so long. Like if you know this is the rule and you get penalized for it, I don't feel bad. It's not like they just made up a rule on the fly and you're like, what's going on?
The other thing too is
they know what the rule is.
This was in AAA all last year.
So I don't get what that means though because
they played games. There wasn't like chaos. Just
but it wasn't like the major league guys weren't playing it though. So it doesn't.
There's still
athletes playing,
and there's still major league guys going down for rehabs and stuff.
But
like
the world didn't end.
You're not paying attention to AAA as much. Like
but I think if there was
a big problem, if you heard a bunch of games were being ended because of the pitch clock in AAA, you would hear about that.
And not only that, the players haven't come out in AAA and said anything about it, and the stats, both pitching and hitting, didn't change one bit. I think that's the biggest caveat.
You'll get used to it 100%. But I do think though that ninth inning, we should just literally not have the clock. I just do think that.
That's also fair.
Why would you change the rules for one inning?
Because
you don't want the game ending.
I'm saying then
just not.
You put this power in Angel Hernandez's hands, it's going to be an issue.
Yeah,
I'm just saying just abide by the pitch clock. Pitch in time.
Yeah, but what happens when Angel rings you up a second early?
Yeah, like you don't. They could do it or have an early, like how like in a delay of game and football, like it's when it hits 0, they don't always call it sometimes. Like it's also they could have a fast guy who wants it to be about him and call him out, and the Yankees lose that game. I'll be like,
that's the beauty of sports. That's why I'm against robot umpires. The human element just.
But that's not sports. That's a fucking like that baseball. It's like the 3-2 count. Give yourself a second to fucking. I don't know. I just don't think you should end the game. If it's a 7th inning, sure. I just don't think you should end the game.
I think it's gonna be. If it ever happens, it'll be electric. Unless it happens to the Yankees.
Exactly, because
I'm breaking balls. We're like, that was a joke, but it'll be. I wouldn't like want that to happen necessarily, but it will be. It'll happen at least once, and it's gonna be wild.
No, you weren't joking because I would be very.
Of course, I would be upset it happened to the Yankees. But anyone would be upset it happened to their own team, obviously. But that's the rules of the game.
Stadium too.
I hope
probably
so.
should.
I believe so.
Yeah. See, because
there's one for the pitcher to see. They put one like right behind it, so
that's where
how the quarterback can see the play clock.
I think if they did it just in the umpire's head, now I know that would be hard to like choose because if a guy has a stick up his ass, he could go after somebody. But the way I look at it is if it was in the umpire's head early in the year, they're enforcing it, right? And he might even bang guys at 27 just to prove a point. But if there's nothing displayed where everybody can go outraged, I do think they would get it to like within reason. It would get to 35 or 36 in the World Series in the playoffs, and people would still be okay with it in your own head. You get what I'm saying?
I do. But
once you put that 30 and everybody can see, it's like now I have to enforce it. It's like trying to get out of a ticket. Like some other people, like the cops, like, yo, somebody else saw it. Like I can't fucking let you out.
Then
Like,
we're gonna
I went to a
have-
AAA game last year, and not only did they have it where the pitcher could see it, but it was also on like their jumbotron. It had a ticking clock, so people could see.
There's no reason why you shouldn't have it up. Like,
Yeah, no, of
should
course.
definitely
I
have
don't,
it.
yeah,
to
of
my
course.
point, you get what I'm saying? This way it wouldn't be decided. You know, now you
Do
could
you
have
think
all the
that-
TikTok
think
and the
we're gonna
Twitter
have-
people doing it with their own
I think the
clock.
problem with that though is after year, that time would keep getting bigger and bigger, and then in 10 years, when the same problem we have right now, which is 4-hour games, everyone's bored to shit. Like I love baseball more than anyone, and even I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here, guys?
Do you think
Let's
we're gonna
go.
have like this in the stands, like a basketball game, like this when the shot clock's coming down, like 5, 4?
Maybe.
I mean, I don't mind that. I
I'm
like
very,
that.
I'm very,
I like it too. It'd be
Yeah.
I like
fun.
it.
but I'm very concerned about being in the stand and just missing pitches. And
Oh, you can miss a lot of
I will
pitches
miss-
going to get a hot
I will
dog.
miss half a game going to get the
right.
You go to the
It
bathroom.
goes fast.
very fast.
The tri-
Bathroom is going to be a quick one.
Other NL East notes: Braves are at 94.5. I think that over/under is very good, but the Mets 93.5 after losing Diaz.
oh,
I mean, that's pretty high, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't.
I think
so.
you can go
think
get.
so?
They won 101 games last year.
You can plug in
With
closers.
the best closer in
You-
baseball.
Yeah, but they
Okay,
also
okay.
really
They
good.
also added Senga. They only got a half season at DeGrom, and now we have Verlander.
They lost Walker. But they every addition that the Mets have made has been equal to a subtraction.
I
you say
disagree.
that?
You think Verlander's going to have the same year DeGrom had last year? DeGrom only made like 14 starts.
Okay.
DeGrom's a game. I mean, Verlander's a gamer too. It's just,
Yeah, I think they've improved. Now the Diaz thing, that's a short-term problem. You're going to be able to find a closer, and then not only up at the deadline, what if they make a move there?
Diaz was the best closer.
Best
in the
closer-
game last
I
year.
without a
agree.
doubt. But how
Far.
many closers in years of baseball have kind of just emerged? I mean, like, oh yeah, that guy's lights out. Oh, where was he on the?
Or you can
depth
make a
chart?
trade,
He was the third guy. You know what I'm-
deadline.
You're saying like that's the easiest thing possible.
I think it's
not the
easier
easiest
to
thing
Like I said, the
possible.
Phillies once blew 8 saves in 6 games 2 years ago.
But closers do.
How is that possible?
I'm gonna tell you
Closers
guys
do
something.
emerge. Teams change closers.
Going from a coming
But that costs like 10 games before you figure it out. So you go from
Coming from a
101 to
team-
91.
coming from a team who had the best closer last year that no one knew about, and then all of a sudden sucked. You need a closer that you can rely on because
absolutely need a closer.
He was a guy that no one knew about, Rico. That everyone, what you're saying,
Holmes,
Clay Holmes had like
Holmes.
a .8 fucking, and then
Two
he
couldn't save a game to
sucked.
save his life.
He
You
forgot how
don't
to
think the
pitch.
Mets are going to make a move at the deadline to pick up a closer if they don't already have one by July? I mean, what are we doing here?
Wait a second.
You can't just say
back to
what are
the
you
over under.
doing here? You can't say that you just
The
know
over-under
you're
is the
going
whole
to get a
season.
best.
Yes.
You're going to be get the best closer.
Not the best, but you
The over under is the whole season. You don't think the
No.
Mets overachieved last year?
No, I don't.
You don't? Okay.
I don't. I think that team was very. In fact,
Uh,
it comes to record.
a little bit.
97 to 101. I mean, what are we talking about here? But as far as the playoff, no, they should have. They got knocked around by the Padres.
They were a very, very good team, though.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they're a very good team, but you don't think like
Well, no,
very good teams at 96. That's a very,
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
very good team. Is a 96 win team.
Here's why-
They won 101, so they overachieved a little bit.
Here's why maybe they didn't overachieve. Is because they did everything right. Moved the guy over, fucking made smart plays, like took the extra base. Like they
Till the end
were
of the
were built. Yeah, 100%.
no one had that
They were
huge
built
year.
correctly.
No one had that like monster Brady Anderson year.
No, it's
You know-
really nice of you guys. You guys had a nice season. It was really cool of your team to make the playoffs.
I think Senga is going to be a wild
You're,
card.
you're used to doing that for the last 13 fucking years. When you
We
guys
wanna-
lose you guys make the playoffs every year and lose in the LCS every year.
but we lost in the wild card round this year.
Oh, congratulations! You made it a round
I
or two
don't-
further than us.
I'm not proud of my season. You guys are very proud. It's okay.
You guys lasted long enough for Tico to scream at you, and then you guys were
You
gone.
didn't even make it to that. You couldn't even come close to it. I mean, I'm not proud of my season. You guys are proud of your season. It's okay. It's good. You should clap it up sometimes, right, Bev? They should clap
The
it
Mets,
up.
they did well.
Good job,
This is,
man.
this is where Mets fans get
For a
confused.
team
They
that hasn't
say-
made the playoffs 2 years in a row in like ever, I think we only did that once in our history. It's a good building block.
Oh, yeah, it's very
No,
nice.
you guys did
It's
great.
a nice
it's a
season,
good
yeah.
building block, but it was a disappointing end.
Yeah, it was very disappointing.
They didn't win
I
the
don't know
division.
why you guys are getting at the Yankees. I'm saying pat your guys self on the back. You made the playoffs. It's awesome. It's cool for New York. Good stuff. All right. Well, we agree. Yeah. Pat on the back. Me and Big Ev. I will never pat on
we're
the back making the
failures.
play. We're
Absolute
failures.
failures.
Absolute losers.
LCS, not good enough.
Oh, you can't come at us. 'cause
World
we're
Series,
losers.
just be in there, not good enough. It's a
Yes.
loser.
What
That's
What about the rest of the NL?
What's your like? You said the Diamondbacks from your playoff team. Like, what's like a team like that you don't really you got to watch out for? You think?
I think the Diamondbacks are going to be not borderline playoff team. They're over under 75.5, which I love. I think they're going to be around 500, making a push.
They
for
were
the
lights
wild
out
card.
in the second half.
What shitty teams are going to overachieve? Yours, the Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks, and I don't know why. I think the Pirates are
Oh no.
they're a bad.
That was incredible.
They're a bad
That was so
team.
genuine. He's like, oh,
They're
no.
a bad team,
Oh,
but
no.
106. Hey, it's 67.5. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs. But I'm saying they're going to win 70 games.
67 so low.
So low.
Remember we talked about the division records. They're going to play those East teams and West teams more.
True.
And they lost 100 games last year.
I'm hedging. I'm not hedging. I'm combining that with the fact that I think O'Neal Cruz. I'm taking him 10,000 to 1 win MVP as one of my picks. I mean, that's if he is able to put. He's a freak. He's an absolute freak.
He is a freak.
That will win an MVP at some point in his career because he's that talented if he's healthy. If he can put it together in year 2 and carry them to 75 wins, I'm saying that's a blatant overachievement.
You know what's
75
good?
wins.
What you can do
10,000
with that, 67.5 as the Pirates?
Yeah.
You can bet it on the Barstool Sportsbook,
Absolutely.
which is today's show is brought to you by Nobody Cares About Your Bracket, and that's why you need to download the Barstool Sportsbook. Who really needs a bracket when you can just bet on all the action, and the Barstool Sportsbook is the best place to start. Now offering a $100 sign-up bonus for new users. Sign up today using code TORNY, then place a $10 or more cash wager on any college basketball bet. Win or lose, receive $100 in bonus cash. That's an outrageous offer. Just $10 on a game. On, let's say, you're Rico and you bet on Alabama. When they lose, you still get $100 in bonus cash. So download and create an account today, and be sure to use code TORNY to unlock your $100 in bonus cash. There, also, just besides the college basketball, the GPS hit last night. The brain freeze hit last night. Just in that, you would have been up. What was the brain freeze? 285.
I think 230 maybe.
So, and just in those two bets, you'd be up 6 units last night.
I do like that we've created bets that are super simple. So, like the hit parade, 20 units last year. What is it? You're describing to your buddy in the bar. You got to get behind this. Is it complicated? I don't like complicated parlays. It's 3 guys to get a hit.
The best players usually.
Talk to my guy Blair.
It's
I think
plus money.
I think it's back.
We are going.
Why are you having? I think we're supposed to have a meeting with Jack tomorrow. It looks like you're the head of hit parade operations now.
Oh, the guy. The pen guy was like, he asked me what I want to do for baseball.
Yeah, when you were out there, right?
I was like, let's do hit parade.
Yeah, it's coming back strong. Yeah,
He said it did great.
we need a third. I think we need a third horse. Carl's gonna pop in here and there, but we might need a third rotation guy. So see how you play your cards.
See how
Also,
Smitty the K's does this
I
shit.
think I need Clemmer's own no on a loop. I need that
Yeah.
like a gift.
But anyway,
Oh, no.
real quick, so download the Barstool Sportsbook and create an account today, and be sure to use code TORNY to unlock your $100 in bonus cash. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When you say the Pirates at 67.5 is absurdly low, guess what the Oakland A's is?
Yeah, and this is actually my
60, like 63 and a half.
59 and a half.
59
And this is where I'm telling.
Nine.
This is my pick. If there's one pick to make, it's this one. Bet the under.
You have them losing over 100
Over
The
100.
A's are going to.
Vegas has them losing.
The A's are going to challenge the 62 Mets. They're that bad.
Hey, they are.
Yeah.
They are that bad.
What a shame because they were serious. I know it was a COVID year. They were a serious World Series team.
They were
2020.
horrific last year, especially second half.
It's not that long ago. It's crazy.
They were like an auto loss.
They've complete, and they're trying to move to Vegas, so they're like
Yeah.
they're pulling a major league. They're tanking on purpose.
seems-
Sean
it
Murphy's
seems
their
like that's
best
probably
player is gone.
happening,
What's that?
The Vegas thing seems
Well,
like
Vegas,
probably happening.
yeah, their lease in Oakland ends 2024.
Vegas
So,
would have to
When
be
I
a
was just
dome.
in Vegas, there was a little bit of like the
It
one.
would have to be
Uber
a
driver
dome,
was
though,
talking
right?
about it.
a retractable roof.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder. I genuinely wonder if that 59.5 is the lowest over/under in baseball history.
Should be.
I don't know, but
Might be.
Probably of the last like 20 years, 15 years.
I've been betting. That's my future. I have my most money in is that one.
Well, when Marty was saying what teams could surprise you, 2 teams that surprised you last year were the Orioles and the Mariners.
Yeah.
Orioles 77.5 this year, which I think is kind of low. The Mariners is 87.5.
On the
They
under.
had a good
That's
team.
they
man.
do have a good team, and
On the
Rodriguez can fucking.
They're plus
Oh.
325 to win their division.
They're not going to win the division.
I mean, the Astros.
If you're I
The
understand.
Astros exist.
Yeah.
That's why they're minus 245. But if you're
Mariners
taking
under.
the Mariners, like that's the Mariners
Imagine if
to
the
win the
Astros get a
division.
real manager.
Also, the Red
Also,
Sox
also with
seems a little
what's his
high.
name just got hurt.
77.5.
Altuve
That's another
just got
one.
hurt.
Under.
Under Red Sox. Under Red Sox. They
Red
got
Sox suck.
just in the past offseason, they've lost Rich Hill, Xander Bogaerts, Nathan Eovaldi, Michael Wacha, and Trevor Story, who's hurt for most of the year. This team, and they went 76 and 86 last year.
Right.
So
Well, that's a weird line.
You're not going to
So
improve.
they have no pitching. Either.
None. Yeah,
No
it's
pitching.
weird. I like
Chris
Gallen as
Sale might be a
MVP.
comeback story.
Chris Sale's
but-
made like 19 starts since the pandemic. Like
No,
you
you
can't bank on
Say, he
him.
might be a comeback story.
You can't. He hasn't had a full season since I think 18 or 17.
I don't know. Just
I
saying.
think Chris Sale could have a second life as a closer somehow.
If he could, if he could
Like
get
just
up
all right,
every
just
day.
gas it up for one inning because he can't. He obviously can't be a
He's got
starter.
the good release for it and everything.
Yeah.
Release.
I'll go Gallen as a Cy Young. I think Senga could be a sleeper. I know it might be a little bit of a home, but that ghost pitch is crazy, and the Mets are going to win a lot of games.
You said Senga, Cy Young.
Sleeper. Yeah, my pick is
I'm very
Zach Gallen.
interested to see
He's
what
Love
really-
Zach
I
Gallen.
like
He's
him.
really sleepy though.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
really sleepy.
Put him
Like,
down okay. He's giving out
The only
thing I will
1,001.
say just
I'm just saying he's really
a
sleepy.
guy like him where it's like no one's really like seen him before. I could see him coming to shotguns at people.
Like ghost pitch,
early.
it sounds to me like Ephus. Where how long did that? Oh, not the Ephus.
Yeah.
What was the pitch that
Gyro or whatever.
Gyro that was just like a changeup.
Can we talk about the NL West real quick? Are the Dodgers going to
Yeah,
compete for the World Championship of baseball again?
I think they can. My Cy Young pick, the National League, is Julio Urias. Like he led the league in ERA last year. He's only 25. It's a contract year. He led the league in wins the year before that. It's a plus 2,000. Like I think
I like
that's
that.
that's a real
Who's winning the division?
Dodgers.
Dodgers? Is it pretty much set?
They won 111 games last year.
I'm very well aware. I mean, they're going
Their
to.
pitching is
Do you
just-
think they're going to challenge the 120 mark again?
No,
Mariners.
no, they're taking a step back.
Dodgers
The Padres, it's going to be much closer than it has in years past. The Padres are better. The Dodgers are worse. But I don't think the Padres are better than the Dodgers yet.
Dodgers are minus 155 to win it. Padres are plus 130.
You know what team to fade? Big time. 80.5 over under. San Francisco Giants. What have they done besides get older?
They've made a lot of free agent moves, but small ones. Adding Conforto, adding
Peterson.
Taylor Rogers. They re-signed
Signed
Peterson. They made these like small, but they also lost Rodon.
Big time.
Yeah, they're kind of a.
I mean, Brandon Crawford's not getting any younger.
No, he's. I think he's even been hurt this spring training.
Corey's not getting any younger.
Rodon.
The Yankees and Mets have two of the top four favorites to win the Cy Young. That's like both teams have two each.
Here's one a little off the grid. Framber Valdez, most wins, 10-1. He had 20-plus quality starts last year.
Now he's 15 to 1 to win the Cy Young.
He's very good.
Most wins, though, I'm getting
No.
10.
That's what I'm saying. If you're getting most wins and parlay into that as Cy Young, I like that.
I would go Acuna homers over Devers and Trout homers over over.
And
Vladdy.
one more note about the NL West. Rockies aren't doing dick, obviously. But C.J. Cron, his over-under RBIs.
Not the
Again,
Don't put me down.
Rico's guy.
Don't put me
no,
down
no,
this
I think
rabbit
he's a
hole
ball
again.
player.
I was gonna say one of the Mets
87
to
and a
get
half. He's 87 and a half over-under RBIs. He flirts with 100 every year.
He was your MVP, right? You love that.
Just
guy.
had a
He can
phenomenal
match.
first half.
He can
was
match.
Top 5 into June.
He's an RBI. He's not Hack Wilson. but
Every
he's an RBI
category.
machine.
love
Every
that-
category. Don't say
Rico,
like
that was
I
where you
picked
went, you should-
No, I
Billy
liked
Butler,
it.
okay.
I liked
Stats
it.
over accolades.
fucking
I liked
Carter.
it. I just remember you'd be the only person tweeting about CJ Cron.
It was unbelievable. And then he was on the block for the Mets, on Mets block every day. I'm like,
Longoria's
go
on
get
the
Cron.
Giants. What do you got?
Longoria's on the Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Remember Cron, he wasn't listed as an MVP. Like you couldn't even bet him if you wanted.
I woke Westy
Well,
up
that's
at
where
3 a.m.
That's
when
where
I took a
Sanga
piss.
is too. You can't bet him either.
See, you should have went the stats route to the accolades route because he's never going to win MVP there.
He's never. No.
He could have had 88 RBIs.
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
for
You
sure.
just go stats.
Real quick, AL Central. I mean, are the White Sox going to be able to take that over again?
I like the White Sox. I know.
Think they bounce back.
I think the White Sox take the division.
83 and a half.
Close though.
That's
No
plus-
one wins 90.
Plus 210.
Yeah.
I like.
Wait, what's up? But the Guardians are the youngest team in baseball still. They can ball. Tristan McKenzie is a dark horse.
They have no ownership support though, so they're not going to make any
35
big
to
moves.
1. He's on the list.
But you know who's even better at plus 4,000? Our guy Lucas Giolito, down 40 pounds.
Fuck him.
Shed that muscle. Hey, fuck you. He's on a contract year too.
is.
Look at the contract years and take the over and hammer anybody who is about to get paid. That's Rhys Hoskins. That's Giolito for that Cy
Urias.
Young.
You know who I'm
Uh,
taking to win this?
This is contract year?
Yeah.
Boom. Right
That's
there.
what I'm saying. It's Salvador Perez under 27 and a half home runs. He's only done it once in his career.
Ooh.
Once has he hit.
That's saying
hit
he's
20
falling off.
So that's minus 113, but
He's not young either.
That's not a lot of juice. You're laying 110 on a
Yeah,
standard.
113 is not
Yeah.
crazy.
no, it's not. It's not a crazy pick, but it's the under 27 and a half home runs. I just think that's going to happen.
Let's
So Framber, Cy Young, that guy is the best pitcher that's ever lived.
Yeah, 15 to 1. Real quick, before we do, I like the Twins to win the Central at plus 210. Let's do. All right, that's Clemmer's futures.
Yeah, Bo Bichette on there too. I have him over 172.5 hits. He's led the league in hits the last 2 years. He's only 25. He's on a Hall of Fame track.
35 to 1.
As long as he stays healthy, that's the big if with some of those. But
all right, Big Ev.
A couple of NIT plays tonight. We're on North Texas plus 4.5. Wisconsin plus 4.5. Kings plus 5 at home against the Celtics. And I'm an American. USA Monday night tonight. World Baseball Classic. Go USA.
I'm North Texas as well. Wisconsin, Magic, Nets, Celtics. I also have USA. Rico definitely has Japan.
No, I don't. I got too quick. I got the Flyers money line and the Bruins minus 1.5.
And then Smitty's, you might have to stay till the Yak if you want to see his futures.
Got Blues, Caps, and Pelicans over. Only 2 futures we didn't talk about. Kyle Tucker over 99.5 home RBIs. I think he shreds again. Bobby Witt.
I love that. I love that Witt pick.
Yeah,
City.
I'm all over.
All over Bobby Witt too.
And Giants under Judge. I mean, Judge is still gonna have a great year. 45 home runs is a lot.
So are you a is it Eagles Phillies or is it Eagles Sixers Phillies? Is it all?
For me personally?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Phillies, Eagles, Sixers.
Phillies first, because I just saw how excited you got about baseball, and I was like,
It's always, but it's a shame for out the Barstool tenure here, 15 years or whatever I've been here. Fuck, it's a long time. Phillies have been. I mean, Ben Revere was throwing 8 hoppers from just beyond second base. Fucking Jeremy Hellickson was the ace. And Kapler.
sorry to cut you. Did anyone see Rico just leave before?
I know what's going on. I'll fill you in after.
Baseball's back.
Know somebody?
You got to hook up for a team that's coming into town.
Oh my God, he's the biggest mooch I've ever met in my entire life.
Honestly, he made a play for them, but he made a play through a friend of ours.
All right, that's the show. Yak's up next.